Hey and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Rasmus Hojlund sends message to Manchester United fans after debut loss to Arsenal. Rasmus Hojlund has sent a message to United fans following his debut performance against Arsenal, which unfortunately ended in defeat. Manchester United were really unlucky last night. The match at the Emirates finished 3-1 to Arsenal, but really didn't reflect the performance the Red Devils put in. Marcus Rashford opened the scoring before Martin Odegaard swiftly equalized. Two late goals from Declan Rice and Gabriel Jesus were enough to ensure the Gunners got all 3 points on the night. One brings spark in the unfortunate defeat was debutant Rasmus Hojlund. The Danish striker looked lively on his first outing for United. He had a message for fans following the first of many in a red shirt. The forward took to Instagram to reflect on what was bittersweet day for the 20-year-old. He said, "So proud to make my debut for Manchester United. The dream became a reality. Unlucky with the result, but we will bounce back after the international break." One thing to take from the loss, United now have a proper centre forward once again. 4 times possession lost, 0 dribbles. Man United star was shocking against Arsenal, he won't start again. Anthony Martial was once again shocking against Arsenal. He probably won't lead the line for the Red Devils in the Premier League for the rest of the season. It was arguably the last chance saloon for Anthony Martial. The Frenchman had his chance to show Erik he deserves to still be within a shot to start for the Red Devils. He did the exact opposite. Martial was lost once again. He was dominated by both Arsenal centre-backs throughout the entirety of the 67 minutes he was on the pitch and didn't provide anything going forward in regard to goal scoring. Now with Rasmus Hojlund entering the frame, who actually impressed, it's hard to see how Martial will lead the line again for United this season in the Premier League. It's no surprise that Ten Hag was keen on shipping Martial out this summer. His stats speak for themselves against the Gunners, gathered from SofaScored. Here are some of the statistics the striker achieved in just over an hour in the clash. Shots on target 1, shots off target 0, dribbles attempted 0, touches 0, possession lost 4. Now, stats aren't everything, but anybody watching the game can all agree that Martial isn't up to the standard to be leading the line at Old Trafford. Ex-Manchester United star left furious following Garnacho's disallowed goal. Phil Neville took to Twitter to express his frustration following Alejandro Garnacho's disallowed goal against Arsenal. It was a tough defeat to take for Manchester United. Erik Ten Hag's side took the lead in the first half thanks to a Marcus Rashford finish, but Arsenal quickly responded with a Martin Odegaard strike. United battled well in the second half, but ultimately two late strikers from Declan Rice and Gabriel Jesus meant Mikel Arteta was the victor in London. But it could have been so different. Alejandro Garnacho had the ball in the back of the net at 1-1 right near the death, but a dubious VAR decision called it offside. It left a lot of people very unhappy. Phil Neville was one of those visibly upset with the VAR decision. He took to social media to express his frustrations in the form of two tweets. "Never offside" and "Get rid of VAR," the former Manchester United man writes. It's a difficult one, which is sparking a huge controversy. It was as tight as they come, and it's really difficult to tell whether the Argentine has just overstepped the mark or not. Nevertheless, it's becoming too much of a prevalent issue in the Premier League, and it needs to be sorted out. The technology either needs to be spot on or needs to go. There should be no in between. From a United win in the dying embers to a bitter, miserable defeat, the decision completely turned the tide of the last 10 minutes. Arsenal got a huge boost from the disallowed goal, which they then turned into two injury time goals to really sink Erik Ten Hag's side. It could have been so different, and it's all down to inconsistent officiating once again. It's becoming a very frustrating occurrence. Gary Neville loved one thing Anthony did in Manchester United clash versus Arsenal. Manchester United lost to Arsenal at the Emirates in another agonizing late defeat. Last season, Manchester United conceded an injury time goal to lose 3-2 at the Emirates. This time, there were two late goals in a 3-1 loss, while United had one of their own ruled out. One common factor was Anthony, who was substituted in both games. His defensive work is integral to the team. Anthony worked hard all game to track back and deny space to Arsenal's attackers, helping out Aaron Wan-Bissaka in defense. His contribution was praised by Gary Neville on Sky Sports. He said, "That's good work from Anthony. Ten Hag has been asking him to do that defensive work for the team. It's vital he did." Anthony worked hard to deny Gabriel Martinelli time on the ball, and his contribution worked with Arsenal's wingers largely ineffective. The Brazilian was substituted late for Alejandro Garnacho. It was almost a winning substitution. Garnacho scored a dramatic late goal, which was then disallowed. Anthony's defensive work was missed, but Manchester United had to gamble. Garnacho offered more attacking thrust than Anthony did in his short time on the pitch. Perhaps the right call would have been to take off Marcus Rashford late, but you can't second guess this too much. Ten Hag's call was centimeters away from being a masterstroke. Gary Neville singles out Manchester United defender Yogodalo for a praise in a 3-1 loss to Arsenal. Manchester United head into the international break on the back of their second defeat of the 23-24 Premier League campaign. Both sides came close to restoring their lead in the second half, and Man United thought they had done so after Alejandro Garnacho found the back of the net in the 88th minute. However, VAR shouted off the goal as replay suggested that the Argentine was marginally offside. Declan Rice and Gabriel Jesus scored in the 5th and 10th minutes of added time to deliver a huge blow to the visitors. Man United were unlucky to lose the game, as they deserved to leave with at least a point, and most of their players did fairly well. Former United star Gary Neville was impressed with the performance of Portugal's left-back Yogodalo, singling him out for praise while on commentary duties during the game. He said, "Dalo has been impeccable defensively." The 24-year-old was handed his second start of the season at left-back, with Luke Shaw unavailable due to an injury, and he kept Bukayo Saka quiet all day. Man United have signed Sergio Reguilon on loan for the season as manager Erik Ten Hag looks to bolster his options in the position, but Dallo will hold on to his berth as long as he keeps performing as he did yesterday. The Red Devils have won 2 and lost 2 of their opening 4 league games this term, with both defeats coming on the road against top teams, and Ten Hag quickly needs to address plenty of things within his squad. Man United returned to action on September 16 against Brighton and Hove Albion, and Rasmus Hojlund could start, while Sofiane Amrabat may make his Premier League debut, handing the side a huge boost. Manchester United forward Jadon Sancho puts out statement. Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag claimed Jadon Sancho was excluded from the matchday squad that faced Arsenal at Emirates Stadium yesterday due to a poor attitude in training. The 23-year-old and Scott McTominay were both missing from the travelling squad, and the story was confirmed after he was not named in the starting 11 or on the bench against the Gunners, while Ten Hag confirmed that the Scotland international midfielder missed the trip due to an illness. He claimed Sancho was dropped from the squad as a disciplinary measure. He said, "Scott is ill. Jadon, it was on his performance in training. We didn't select him. You have to reach the level every day at Manchester United. You can make choices in the front line. So in this game, he wasn't selected." However, the England international took to his ex-social media account to hit back at the claim. He said, "Please don't believe everything you read. I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I have conducted myself in training very well this week. I believe there are other reasons for this matter that I won't go into. I have been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. All I want to do is play football with a smile on my face and contribute to my team. I respect all decisions that are made by the coaching staff. I play with fantastic players and grateful to do so, which I know every week is a challenge. I will continue to fight for this badge no matter what. The former Borussia Dortmund star is yet to start a Premier League this campaign, coming off the bench against Wolverhampton Wanderers, Tottenham Hotspur, and Nottingham Forest. He is clearly unhappy with what Ten Hag has said, but his statement has done nothing to douse the fire, and the club and manager are unlikely to be happy with his decision to take to social media to defend himself. Sancho could find himself in hot water and face stiff disciplinary actions for his actions, and it will be intriguing to see how Man United and Ten Hag react to his statement. The reason why Donny Van De Beek failed to secure a summer switch away from Man United has emerged. Erik Ten Hag is likely to have been delighted with his incoming transfers over the summer at Man United, but perhaps not so with his outgoings given that the likes of Donny Van De Beek, Jadon Sancho, and Harry Maguire all still remain in situ. Though the Dutchman isn't believed to have come out and explicitly told any of the trio that they have to move. Actions speak louder than words in this case. It's a perfect man management ploy because he is still dangling a carrot, however small, to suggest that there is a way back into the first team if there are injuries and if the preparation and desire are correct. The reality is that all three arguably don't have a future at the club, and the sooner that there is an acceptable offer for the players, the better. For Van de Beek, it was thought he was on the verge of a switch to Real Sociedad, but that never materialized. Now, it has come to light that he was offered a deal by French Ligue 1 side Lorient, but his arrogance and general attitude towards a move scuppered any hopes, according to L'Equipe. It's believed that the player's representatives contacted Lorient on deadline day to discuss a move. However, the club weren't interested because of how dismissive he was over the switch, which had been agreed with Man United earlier in the window. Gary Neville and Ben Jacobs remain optimistic of sale despite recent reports. Another transfer window has come and gone with the Glazer family in charge of Manchester United. The much maligned owners are now entering their 18th season at the helm at Old Trafford, despite putting the club up for sale midway through the last campaign. News broke that the American owners were open to offers for the club last November, yet after multiple public offers, they are still in possession. The silence on the sale has been deafening over the summer, and reports emerged recently that the club was no longer on the market and the Glazer family have no intention of selling. The news was naturally met with fury from United fans who have protested against the current ownership model since they gained control in 2005. However, former United captain Gary Neville and sports broadcaster Ben Jacobs have both spoken on the latest reports and remain hopeful a sale is still on the cards. Neville says the need for investment across the club will eventually lead to the Glazer family having to relinquish control due to them not having the budget to make the necessary upgrades. He said, I don't believe the Glazers not selling doing anything story. They have to do something. They have run out of money and the financial situation is desperate. They need investment and they are also having a toxic impact on the club from the inside out. The negligence continues for now, but I don't think it can go on without some action on raising funds. Also, who could come in as a minority alongside them with the damage it would do to their reputation. Ben Jacobs also used his Twitter platform to say the sale process remains ongoing and the Qatari backed bid is the frontrunner, with Jim Ratcliffe's consortium looking less likely to win the race. He said, Understanding remains Manchester United sale process is ongoing and little has changed. No sale always one possibility, especially in light of the expanded Club World Cup. Those close to the Qatar side have said for some time they think their main rival is a no sale, not Jim Ratcliffe. United fans are desperate for a conclusion to the saga that is continuing to cast a cloud over the club and no doubt hindering United from building their way back to the top of English football. I will be uploading daily Manchester United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.